Welcome back to CIA Declassified. It's the mid-1950s. The Soviet Union has locked down Eastern Europe behind a wall of silence. They've jammed the radio waves and censored every newspaper, but the agency realized the Soviets didn't own the wind. Imagine you're a farmer in rural Poland. You look up and the sky isn't blue, it's white. Thousands of leaflets are falling like snow, telling you the news your government is trying to hide. This is Operation Focus. It was a balloon blitz that drove the Kremlin absolutely insane. It was cheap, it was effective, and it was nearly impossible to stop. Today we're looking at how the CIA used the jet stream to win the first round of the information war. You can't just tie a message to a balloon and hope for the best. This was weaponized meteorology. Operation Focus was launched by the Free Europe Press, a front for the CIA. Between 1954 and 1956, they launched over 30,000 balloons from sites in West Germany, carrying over 300 million leaflets into the Eastern Bloc. A quote from a declassified RFE operational summary: "The balloon is the only medium capable of penetrating the Iron Curtain without risk of human life. By utilizing predictable upper air currents, we can achieve a saturation of the target area that radio broadcasts cannot match due to Soviet jamming." End quote. The balloons were made of polyethylene and filled with hydrogen. They carried a specialized cardboard box rigged with a dry ice timer. As the ice evaporated, the box would tip, releasing the leaflets at a specific altitude. The leaflets weren't just text. They included the 12 demands, a list of workers' rights, and even miniature editions of prohibited books like Animal Farm by George Orwell. A quote from a Soviet protest note to the United States State Department: "These American weather balloons are a gross violation of sovereign airspace and a threat to civil aviation. They carry inflammatory materials designed to incite rebellion." End quote. To make the leaflets more valuable, the CIA included small items like needles, thread, and even freedom medals to encourage people to pick them up and hide them from the secret police. The Soviets were so desperate to stop them that they scrambled fighter jets to shoot them down. However, the balloons were so light and slow that the jets often stalled out trying to hit them. The agency tracked the balloons using radio sondes, tiny transmitters that allowed them to map the wind patterns across the Soviet frontier in real time. Operation Focus utilized V-shaped launch troughs that allowed crews to release a balloon every 2 minutes, creating a literal conveyor belt of propaganda. The leaflets were printed on water-resistant paper so they wouldn't dissolve in the rain or snow before they could be read. The CIA developed automatic ballast dischargers that would drop, and if the balloon got too low, keeping the cloud of truth in the air for hundreds of miles. In 1956, a balloon accidentally struck a Czech airliner, which the Soviets used as a massive propaganda win to shut down the program. Post-war interviews revealed that the balloons of hope were so popular that people in Hungary would risk imprisonment just to keep a scrap of the paper as a souvenir. Technical logs show that Operation Focus used over 600 tons of calcium hydride just to generate the hydrogen gas needed for the massive 1955 launch window. Another quote, this is from a declassified RFE field engineer report: "The launch site at Camp Barkley has achieved a rhythm where the glass flow and the cardboard folding are perfectly synchronized. We are basically a factory for airmail revolution." End quote. The agency created propaganda weather maps that predicted exactly where the leaflets would fall, allowing them to time the drops with local market days in small Polish villages. Internal CIA memos confirmed that Operation Focus balloons were designed to burst at a specific atmospheric pressure, ensuring that no evidence of the American-made balloon remained for the local police to find. The Free Europe Press actually ran a contest for the most efficient cardboard box design to maximize the number of leaflets per flight without increasing the balloon's radar signature. If you look at the declassified logs for the payload variants of Operation Focus, the black bars get really weird. The heaviest redactions are in the non-paper payload section. Conspiracy theorists believe the black bars hide the Silver Spoon Initiative. The theory is the CIA was dropping more than just needles and thread. They were dropping radio jammers that would land on rooftops and block local Soviet broadcast, and the bars hide the electronic blueprints. Another theory that is a persistent rumor is that the redactions in the biological monitoring section hide a plan to use the balloons to drop Agent P. Speculation suggests this was a chemical that would turn the local crops a bright neon blue to prove the government couldn't protect the food supply, and the black bars hide the crop duster logs. Some researchers claim the black bars hide the Mir project. The theory is that the balloons carried specialized reflective chaff that would create ghost fleets on Soviet radar, making them think an American invasion was coming every time the wind blew east. A wild theory suggests the redactions hide the voice from the clouds. Speculation holds that the balloons carried high-powered speakers that would play the sounds of marching boots or church bells over sleeping cities to create psychological dread, and the bars hide the audio harassment logs. Some speculate the redactions hide the camera gaps. The theory is that Operation Focus was just a cover for Project Gentrix, where the CIA put spy cameras on the balloons to photograph Soviet missile silos, and the black bars hide the illegal overflights. Rumor has it that the blacked out paragraphs in the 1956 summary are actually hiding Project Glass Eye. The theory, the agency was dropping thousands of tiny high-altitude mirrors to reflect sunlight back at the ground in specific patterns to blind Soviet tracking stations, and the redactions cover the eyewitness reports of unexplained flashes. Deep cover whisperers claim the redactions hide Operation Poltergeist. The speculation is that the balloons weren't just dropping paper, but were dropping infrasonic generators that caused feelings of intense anxiety in the population below, and the bars hide the human behavior test results. Could the balloons have been carrying the dead? A fringe conspiracy suggests the black bars hide the use of balloons to return the remains of high-level defectors to their home soil as a message to the Kremlin, and the redactions cover the biohazard protocols. There's a persistent story that the redactions hide the counterfeit leaflet program. Speculation suggests the CIA started dropping fake Soviet orders to confuse the secret police, and the black bars hide the names of the towns that actually started arresting their own officials because of the paper rain. Finally, some theorists believe the black bars hide the balloon brain. The speculation is that the CIA developed a rudimentary AI for the balloons using vacuum tubes to let them change altitude automatically based on light levels, and the redactions hide the digital ghost in the machine. Was Operation Focus a success? Logistically, absolutely. It proved the CIA could penetrate the most guarded borders on Earth with simple physics. Politically, it was a powder keg. Many historians believe the paper rain helped fuel the 1956 Hungarian uprising by convincing the people that the West was coming to help, which tragically they didn't. The paper rain left behind more than just litter as far as technological and operational breakthroughs go. For instance, predictive wind modeling. The CIA's work on Operation Focus led to the birth of modern atmospheric intelligence used by the NWS today. Miniaturized timers. The dry ice mechanism was a precursor to the silent, non-electric fuses used in modern clandestine devices. Psychological saturation. The agency learned that physical objects, needles, thread, metals, are 10 times more effective at building loyalty than words alone. And balloon stealth. Researching how to make balloons invisible to Soviet radar paved the way for modern low observable aircraft. Operation Focus reminds us that you can't keep the truth out. It's as light as air and as stubborn as the wind. Thanks for listening. Join us next time when we move from the skies to the very start of the space race. We examine Operation QK Flower. How do you stop a superpower before they even reach the stars? This was the CIA's first major program to subvert Soviet satellite technology. From the secret kidnapping of a Lunix space probe to the midnight disassembly of Soviet hardware, we uncover the heist that gave America the keys to the cosmos. Join us for The Midnight Moon. In the meantime, I'll see you in the archives.